Hello, Internet, and welcome back to the Story Nook. I've got a very fun article. Well, not really fun. Um, Another serious kind of article that I found. It might go up on a different day than Friday, because as you know, my upload schedule is Friday. But I might upload it earlier because it's a more news worthy kind of thing. So let's get into it. Nintendo is officially suing the United States government. I wonder what they did. Oddly enough, it's not about the uh them using Pokemon Company's intellectual property from what I've skimmed. But this is posted by Game Rant, this specific article. And it's written by James Ratcliffe, and it was published on March 6th at 3:16 Eastern Standard Time. And this tells us that he joined Game Rant as a gaming news writer in 2022. And so, yeah, this gives us like a nice little brief summary of James's career, which I think is awesome. And he became a senior author last year. Yay! And third generation Texan. On March 6th, Nintendo filed a lawsuit against the United States government over the Trump administration's tariffs on goods from various nations that the gaming giant does business with, including China and Mexico. Because, like, those parts that make up the video games and stuff, they're produced somewhere. So, yeah. You know how many things I encountered that say made in China? Nearly everything. Nintendo stated that since the Supreme Court struck down Trump's tariffs, it was suing to collect any refunds the government owed with interest under the court's ruling. Right? Because it's just like, hey, you struck down these tariffs, but we still had to pay some. So we would like a refund and we want it with interest. So the longer you take to repay it, the more money we get. Which I think is fair and kind of funny. Because I was just like, I didn't think companies would do that. I figured they would lobby and sue, like, hey, these tariffs are unfair. And then they said, nah, we're gonna sue and we want with interest. And you know what? I dislike Trump and his administration so much. I'm like, sure, do it. They took the money from our healthcare and our SNAP benefits, so I'm like, yeah, they should pay. They should pay out. But that's just how I feel personally. I'm just like, well, it's not going to our healthcare. It's sure as fuck's not going to food benefits, SNAP benefits, or anything of the sort. So I'm like, yeah, sue him. Take the money you can. And then make him and the administration go, that this was a bad idea. Following U.S. President Donald Trump's return to office in 2025, why do you mean it's only been 1 year? I want him out already. He's awful. He's just wretched. So upsetting. The U.S. government imposed tariffs on goods coming from various nations. Ergo, the cost of the collected tariffs were passed on to consumers across the country. In April 2025, the U.S. government's tariff rate against China was as high as 145%, which caused prices on food, electronics, and other goods to increase across the board. The Trump administration cited the 1977 International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, as justification for tariffs. Sir, most of our stuff is made in China. You just made our lives so much harder. Like, we don't really produce or make anything here. We had a chemical plant in my county that fucking exploded. So I know pool chemicals like chlorine and shit isn't being made in my county anymore because it exploded and it put all of us on lockdown. As a result, Nintendo increased the prices of the Switch 2 controllers and accessories, though the Switch 2 console still kept its launch MSRP at $449. Nintendo is suing the US government over Trump's tariffs, right? Because Nintendo is just like, yeah, our stuff's expensive, but now we have to make it more expensive to keep profit margins for the United States, which is by far one of our largest consumers, so I get their logic. After the U.S. Supreme Court struck down most of the Trump administration's tariffs in a February 20th ruling by a 6-3 vote, Trump issued a blanket 10% global tariff via an executive order that would last for 150 days at most. Now Nintendo has taken the initiative to recoup the tariffs it's paid before the Supreme Court's ruling. Right, so from, what date was it? So in April of 2025 is when those tariffs kind of like went into effect or whatever. And then the Supreme Court struck them down on the 20th of this year. So that's like almost a whole year. Now, Nintendo has taken the initiative to recoup the tariffs it paid before the Supreme Court's ruling. According to the lawsuit filed with the U.S. Court of International Trade, Nintendo listed members of Trump's administration as the main defendants, including Secretary Scott Bessent, Kristi Noem, Rodney Scott, Jameson Geer, and Howard Lutnick. The lawsuit stated that Nintendo wants to collect any refunds with interest of tariffs duties that had been paid since February of 2025. So almost a whole year. Although a refund amount was not disclosed in the lawsuit, Nintendo said that it suffered injury caused by the IEEPA duties, and that any ruling against the company would result in imminent and irreparable harm to Nintendo's bottom line. Nintendo stated that the tariffs imposed by the Trump administration had collected more than $200 billion on imports across the globe. According to Reuters, the U.S. Customs and Border Protection Agency stated that it would have a refund system active within the next 45 days. From what day, I don't know. While Nintendo's legal team is better known for combating piracy, the gaming giant's latest lawsuit is in line with ones that have previously been filed against the Trump administration. According to a February 24th AP report, over 1,000 global companies, such as FedEx and Costco, are suing the Trump administration for refunds for the tariffs duties paid since February 2025. So it's not just Nintendo. I'm glad that over 1,000 companies are like, okay, so these tariffs were deemed not cool and not constitutional, therefore you need to pay us for what we paid you. And Nintendo's like, I want interest on that. I'm hoping the other companies also do, but who knows. It remains to be seen how each lawsuit will be handled. Because each company is separate at the moment. They haven't come together and be like, let's form a class action lawsuit. I'm not sure if you can for the US government. But it would be fun to see at this point. Because for me, I just don't like Trump. I don't like what they're doing in general. And I'm going to take my happy little American ass to go vote and hopefully vote any of his little cronies out of the fucking system when the Georgia primaries happen in May, I believe. It's May last I looked up. I'll look it up again just to be sure. Oh, I opened up that video. Nintendo's issues are far from over. Nintendo, I'm actually thinking about supporting you more. I was just like, I'm not going to buy the Switch 2 yet. There's not enough games on there I want. And I'm thinking, like, you suing, I'm gonna be supporting you. I will back you with my money, sir. Nintendo's tariff lawsuit is just the second run-in that the Trump administration has had with Nintendo and its partners in the first full week of March. On March 5th, the White House posted a picture on social media using the font of Pokopia. The message of Make America Great Again has been used as a slogan for the Trump administration and its policies. However, the Pokemon company stated on March 6th that it was not involved in the White House social media post and did not give the Trump administration permission to use the Pokemon IP for any political purposes. The company said, "Our mission is to bring the world together, and that mission is not affiliated with any political viewpoint or agenda." Right? Especially since Trump wants to tear people apart and everything else. However, Nintendo still has to face the looming possibility of a Switch 2 price increase in 2026. The ongoing global DRAM shortage crisis is causing the prices of RAM kits and solid-state drives, SSDs, to spike across the globe. As companies like Sony and Microsoft mull over potential price changes, Nintendo stated that it is keeping an eye on the global DRAM crisis. Although Nintendo stated that it is not currently affected by DRAM price increases, the RAM crisis could still impact the company's bottom line in the months ahead. As of this writing, the price of Nintendo Switch 2 remained at its launch day MSRP of $449.99 before taxes. So yay. And there are no comments on here. But yeah, I read an article yesterday that goes up today that I'm reading this about the White House using the Pokopia article. I think this is the article. Yeah. Where they're issuing statements about them using the Pokemon meme. Because they're just like, we didn't give permission for this. There we go. Yeah. But yeah, this one is the article from pretty much the same day. So they're just like a couple hours. One was at 10, almost 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the other one was at the other time. But yeah, this is the MAGA one, which has legit Pikachu in the fucking background. Or a Pikachu, because it looks like they took a screenshot from the game from one of like the early advertisements. Yeah, because that's Pikachu, that's Magikarp, that's Paris, that's the sushi dude. Yeah, it looks like that's Slowpoke, Pidgey, Rookity. Yeah, it looks like they took some of the promo art and then changed the text, which not too hard to do. And then there was one that used the theme song. Yeah, so see, they essentially just took this and expanded that out. Because, like, they even kept, like, the Ditto shape in here, which I think is fucking disgusting. Because I'm like, if you are a fan of, like, Pokemon or Sonic, like, obviously I'm a Sonic fan, I'm just like, and you support Trump, I'm just like, how are you justifying this in your brain? Because, like, this is not when these shows were about and what they stand and for or anything. So I'm like, the fuck. But yeah, Nintendo's suing the US government. I hope they win. I'm hoping the company sues the Trump administration for using their likeness and shit in for their fucking be recruited by ICE memes, because fuck them. And so yeah, I hope you are all doing well, staying safe, staying healthy. I hope Nintendo wins the lawsuit. But things happening with me. I am still working on my graphic novel. Um, the sketches are done. I'm working on a cosplay that I'm going to be wearing to Sonic Expo, and I'm working on getting more physical items to have to sell at Ko-fi. Well, on through my Ko-fi. You can also get one of my fan comics and stuff on my Ko-fi and coloring pages I drew. On my Patreon, that's like where you get early access to all my art, YouTube scripts, some of my writings. I write short stories. If you're new here, I write cute, fluffy gay shit, essentially. As you can see, this is my artwork that I've done for postcards in the past that I also print out. And when I go to conventions, I give them away to people. And so, yeah. So I write cute, fluffy gay romances. I titled the series Cute Fluffy Gay Shit because I could not find any more that I hadn't already read on fanfiction AO3 for the Sonic fanfictions I read. So I decided to write my own, mostly with my own original characters. And so yeah, I'm currently working on, so like book 5 and 6 are written, but they don't have covers. But books 1 through 4, so the Kelpie Makes Dinner, Sunbathing, Canning, and Breakfast, all of those are out. You can get them on most ebook retailers, Smashwords, Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. What was the other one? I don't know. But like, there's a whole list I published through Draft to Digital, and then I did set it up where I could publish on Google Books. The second one, it was just like, your title is too close to other books, which is fair. I tend to use one-word titles. So on Google Books, it'll probably have the abbreviation of Cute Fluffy Gay Shit in front of it, or it'll just be the main couple's names, because of just like my naming convention. That just tends to be how it is for me. And so yeah, my husband did tell me he wants me to see about publishing physical books, which I am considering. The first one will be the graphic novel I'm working on. I've got rough drafts for the pages down, and now I got to actually sit down and do the physical penciling of it. I'm going to be doing it by hand and then scanning it in after it's all inked, because I miss inking by hand. I like that. So, yeah. I hope you're doing well. Let's go ahead and read the Patreon Ko-fi supporters, because y'all make it where I don't have to worry so much about my bills. My job is switching or merging with like another company, so they're switching to bi-weekly soon. But yeah, I look forward to seeing any of y'all at Sonic Expo if you're going to be there later on this year. And I look forward to showing off the cosplay that I've been putting together pretty much all year, because luckily the convention's at towards the end of the year. But many thanks to my Patreon Ko-fi supporters: Kaleidoscope Chick, Tweety Cakes, Axel1154, Cassie G, JSDS, Axel Akaraz, Pizza Nene, Semi-Random Sevens, and Micah. Thank you all so much. You can support me for free or paid on Patreon, and your names will always be here. Ko-fi, supporting me, one-time donation or commission, and your names will always be read here. I have quick sketch commissions, which cost $1, and then yeah. So remember to stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and have a great day. Bye bye.